Hey folks, it's Max here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video with AEW for the Sickos series. Apologies for a little bit of a delay. I had a few things going on and for once not a mile ahead with TW. Pretty much this is where I'm at in my save. I was a wee bit annoyed with the situation with the Battle of Los Angeles not going over 2 nights, but thanks to Dazzle I think I have an idea where I went wrong and hopefully we can sort that out in the future. But the good thing is, it gives the wrestlers that are going to be competing on night 2 a week off effectively to rest the body for what is going to be an intense final night. So, before then, we have Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and Shockwave. So let's jump through them and see how the week unfolds on the road to the Battle of Los Angeles, night 2. So we're in the Pensacola Bay Centre and we start off with some tag team action on Dynamite. We had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Ua and Ricochet defeat the Time Splitters in 11:33 when Ua pinned Kushida with the Ua combination. Ricochet was head and shoulders above the rest in terms of in-ring performance, a fantastic 83, but still some good stuff there from Kushida and Alex Shelley, and with this 72 for the wrestling and a very good opening segment of 76. Then I had a little promo. It was Paul Heyman speaking on behalf of Ricochet and Ua. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and what you have just bared witness to is two of the most impressive wrestlers here in AEW. Look at the speed, the skill of Ricochet, the power and athleticism of Ua. Combine that together, and then add me leading the way. You will have bona fide stars here in All Elite Wrestling. Now, last month at All In, it was an anomaly with that defeat to Aussie Open, but mark my words, we will go all out to win those championships. And that's not a spoiler, that's not a prediction, that is a spoiler. So basically, hinting at the fact we will see that rematch 1 month's time at All Out. So a 60 rated segment, storyline advances and loses heat. Heyman came across as a real star. Performed poorly, but he is getting better at his gimmick. Of course, he's someone we do have to get over. We then had a decent wrestling match that didn't have much heat as Megan Bayne defeated Riho in 9:23 with pinfall. Storytelling matchup, pretty simple and effective matchup to make Megan Bayne pretty strong, and a 57 rated segment. We then had a decent matchup here that saw Pac defeat Cedric Alexander. Cedric was in a one-off appearance, he was local and said he wanted to appear, so I thought that's fine, we can put Pac over, and he wins in 10:03 with the Black Arrow, and we made this one a steal of the show. So a 56 for Cedric, a 75 for Pac, so back in the winning column, and a 68 overall. Pac has some few words for us here, and it's just, for the past few months, you've not witnessed my true self, but not no more. I will be back, I will be a proper bastard, and I will be a champion here again in AEW. Be warned. So simple, effective promo from Pac, 66. We had a decent wild brawl as Keith Lee defeats Big Bill in 9:11 with the Spirit Bomb. 57 and 57 for the wrestling and then the segment overall. Even Keith's performance was a 57, but just slowly building them up before one final clash with Swerve. We then are greeted by the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, and he says it feels good to make it past the first round of the Battle of Los Angeles, and what a classic we will have this weekend as he'll be locking it up with Hangman Adam Page in the next round. A likely dream match for many AEW fan and someone who I'm really looking forward to battling. And he says, but I can't help but look forward to see who I could be potentially facing in the semi-finals. He's then cut off by Kenny Omega. And he just goes, well, Ospreay, it's funny you happen to mention that, because I am too of that opinion. What an opportunity, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega in the semi-final. It would be a real honour to see how you've developed since I left New Japan Pro Wrestling, and if you've truly really improved to my level. But of course, I can't get ahead of myself as I still have to battle. And then he's cut off by, of course, Kenny Omega. Once again, completely forgetting about the Switchblade. Well, I'm shocked at you, as, come on boys, you both know who you're dealing with here, with Jay White. Now rest assured, last 8, Kenny Omega, bang bang. Last 4, Will Ospreay, Hangman Adam Page, bang bang. Final, Switchblades wins, bang bang. And then All Out, that should be the next AEW World Champion, breathe with the Switchblade. So setting up basically matchup for the two matches for the weekend will be Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page, Jay White versus Kenny Omega. The two winners collide in the semi-final. So 83, that's our best promo of the night. Kenny comes across looking well, Jay improvised well, the segment deserved better commentary. They had a decent matchup that saw Daniel Garcia defeat Kyle O'Reilly in 17:56 by pinfall, following interference botched by Zack Sabre Jr., so he's clobbered Kyle instead of hitting Garcia. Of course, that little rivalry we've got between Sabre Jr. and Garcia. 73 wrestling, a 71 for this segment. The storyline has advanced and gained heat, and a pretty good performance from Garcia at 74, and just Kyle's physical condition and Garcia's inconsistency, so I don't think that kind of interference has cost the match too much, but good stuff, and Garcia continuing to gain momentum. We then have your CEO, the women's champion, Mercedes Moné. She says, everyone, say hello to your CEO, and of course, reigning AEW Women's World Champion, Mercedes Moné. Now, this weekend sees the second night of the Battle of Los Angeles, and I intend to win the Maidens Women's version. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the top women in the world are in this tournament, but come on, please. None of them are even on my level. Now, I know you'll mention, Toni Storm. I know, Mercedes, she has 2 wins over you, and you haven't beat her yet. You know what? Correct. But guess what? I am the world champion. I have the belief in my ability that not only I will beat her, but I'll beat 2 other women the same night to be crowned the winner and to take the trophy home to Boston. That was my way of trying to get over Mercedes' way of promos, but Mercedes tried to make herself look really, really strong ahead of this tournament, and a 69 for that. And our main event has delivered absolutely massively. I wanted to check out Kyle Fletcher in singles competition, and I believe he's delivered here despite the psychology penalty. And about had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Swerve Strickland defeats Kyle Fletcher in 22-12 by pinfall with a Swerve Stomp due to a distraction from Ricochet. So 84 for Kyle Fletcher, 90 for Swerve. Storyline advances between, of course, Aussie Open, Ricochet, Paul Heyman. Storyline would have obviously that would have gained a bit to the segment rating, but we'll lose a lot because of the lack of psychology. So this could have maybe been an 87 overall. Kyle's apparently getting stale, but 87 wrestling, 85 segment, solid stuff. Negatives, just the psychology. Oh wow, Swerve is absolutely nailing it tonight. And he just has a little promo to end the show. So it seems like here in AEW, Scott D'Amore has a little agenda against me because of the whole Keith Lee shit. Well, you know what? Next week, Dynamite, for the last time, we end it. Limitless Keith Lee, the most dangerous man in AEW, Swerve Strickland, the last match. And when I beat old Keith's broken ass down, I'm coming for trophies, for gold, for titles. Because this is whose house? Swerve's house, and don't ever forget that. So Swerve benefits from the hot catchphrase, the storyline advances and gains heat. 87 for this segment. Next week on Dynamite, because Swerve is not in BOLA, it's going to be Swerve Strickland versus Keith Lee. Show gets an 84, popularity across the board in 48 regions, fantastic. So, in truth, Swerve stole that show, but much better from a promo side of things. And good that we got that resting our main hitters. Any locker room incidents before Rampage? Austin Gunn is getting ripped because he is influenced by Okada. I will go and book Collision, we'll do that, and then we'll run through Rampage and Shockwave. Catch you in a bit. So straight into things we go with Collision. I've just continued to run this one at the Pensacola Bay Centre, and we start straight off with some in-ring action. I had a decent match up here with MJF defeating Commander in 8:55 by pinfall. So obviously I was intrigued to see how this match went because, let's be honest, in real life it is a contrast to styles, but apparently they have pretty good chemistry that did lift the match. And probably one of the better MJF performances in ring with the 76. Wrestling was a 70 and the segment overall was a 70, so a pretty solid opener. Commander is getting a little bit stale, but obviously we're using this one to build up some momentum with MJF. We then hear from him, and he says, Hangman Adam Page, you're lucky you've taken tonight off because I would have beaten that, or I would have beat every living shit out of you. Now don't worry, I'm not going to lay a hand on your boys, The Acclaim, tonight, because let's face it, those two schmucks are going to get beaten up within an inch of their lives by Wardlow and Ricky Starks later tonight. So enjoy your tournament, enjoy the beatdown, and we'll see you soon, pal. So basically, continuing that week in an issue, they've got MJF and Hangman. I was kind of waiting to get the tournament out of the way before I start doing the storylines again in terms of in-game, so that's why there is no advancement to that. But 84, pretty solid stuff on the promo side. Next up, I had a terrible matchup that saw Nixon Nil defeat Danny Luna in 9:38 with the Vulture Culture Destroyer. Because it was the weakest match on the night, it was a storytelling matchup, but these are two women that I think we can develop well and we can get their popularity up over time. 47 wrestling and a 51 segment overall. We end up hearing from Bailey, who's obviously accompanied Nixon Nil to the ring, and Sky Blue. Mercedes Monet not present, all four of course part of the Monet Corporation. And Bailey says, what a display there from Nixon Nil. Her and Sky Blue are showing you guys why they are the future of this industry. However, in the now, it is going to be the second night of the Battle of Los Angeles, and both myself and Mercedes Monet are gunning for the championship. We're friends and we know what's at stake, and we've mutually decided it won't destroy our friendship if we meet in the tournament. But we know if we do battle, we'll raise the level of each other and we'll be unstoppable. So no teasing any breakup between those two. They know what's at stake, they know they could face each other. Segment was a 46. I think you do use a lot because you're trying to get Nixon and Sky over, but I feel it's short-term pain for long-term gain, and I don't really think it affects you where you're putting it in the show. We then had a little announcement from the commentary team, Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone. It's official from Scott D'Amore after an impressive showing against Swerve Strickland on Dynamite. Kyle Fletcher has been granted a marquee matchup tonight with the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita. This will be our main event. Fletcher gets a fair chance after being screwed by Ricochet, who we can confirm isn't here tonight. So 69, just typing up our main event, which will be Fletcher and Takeshita. Because of course in this universe, Aussie Open have never joined the Don Callis family. Back to action next, and we had a TNT Championship matchup, and it was a decent wild brawl that saw Samoa Joe defeat the Beast Mortos in 12:06 by pinfall, a second defence of the TNT Championship for Samoa Joe, a 59 for the wrestling, a 47 for the crowd, and a 63 segment. Decent stuff from Joe. He's never going to be getting mega results now at his age, but he can still put on some good bangers. We then hear from him. For the third time I stand before you, the King of Television and TNT Champion, but I take pride in this belt. Some good names, hell, some great names have held this, and it truly is a championship that makes you stand up and fight. So anytime, any place, you name it, and then I'm going to choke your bitch ass out and put you to sleep. So heavy, heavy words from Samoa Joe. I tend to prefer to use working the crowd rather than cutting a promo. I just seem to get better ratings from it, so I'm obviously going to go that way. Whether you agree with that, it's down to you. But an 88 segment is fantastic, and yeah, solid stuff from Samoa Joe. Not really too sure who the opponent's going to be going forward, but it gives me an opportunity to bring someone in for Forbidden Door, which I'll start looking at obviously after BOLA, and of course All Out just a few weeks after that. I have double checked, CMLL and New Japan do not run a show that day, so it's just going to make sure I get enough people in for enough appearances for loans. So you'll probably see a lot of like Forbidden Door stuff beforehand, and after it. It's weird because you don't need to bring them in for storylines, but technically you're just having some good matches. But we'll see how it works out. We then cut backstage to Cope, who's been joined in his dressing room by Christian Cage. We just hear from Christian in this instance. So, you know that despite all our issues in the past, I do have your back. We've been through literally everything together. But I think it's time we drop the deadwood, and I don't even mean that in a nasty way. I think Jericho's done. I don't think he can hang with us. We should be AEW Trios champions, but because of him we're not. But AEW Tag Team champions, that we can. Listen, you don't even need to have a response. Just do the right thing. So with 79 promo from Christian and Cope, are they looking to drop Chris Jericho? Remains to be seen. Next matchup had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy defeats Jack Perry in 12:09 with the Orange Punch. Pretty solid stuff here, good performances I'd say overall. 87 for Orange and a 75 for Jack Perry, and it gives us a segment rating of 77. Next up we hear from former two-time Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter. I noticed earlier on that Bailey seems confident that either her or Mercedes Moné are going to walk away with the Battle of Los Angeles. Funny that. They must have took too many hits to the head, or to forget myself, Tony Storm and Io Shirai, just to name a few. But people need to stop sleeping on me. I'm a former two-time Women's Champion. Mercedes knows how good I am. She just won't admit it. And Bailey, well, we haven't clashed yet, but one day she's going to be in for a shock. this whole AEW women's locker room needs to be on notice. So a 72 promo there from Jamie, so some good stuff there. A bit of a warning towards Bayley. Obviously, she just lost the championship to Mercedes Moné, so Mercedes knows she's decent, but has a number. Could they all collide at one point in the Battle of Los Angeles? We're going to go over the quarterfinal matches at the end of the video after we get through the 2B shows. Co-main event was a decent matchup that saw the team of Wardlow and Ricky Starks defeat the Acclaimed in 10:36 when Wardlow pinned Max Caster with the Power Bottom Symphony. Made it the steal of the show matchup. Weakest link was Max Caster, only bringing a 48. Best wrestler alive, apparently. But 61 for the wrestling, 65 for the storyline. To be fair, Bones, Starks and Wardlow all bringing pretty similar performances, but we'll obviously see where this one goes down the line. We're really working with the promos now. Although to be fair, the working the crowd angles, so we are knocking it out of the park with them. So we hear from Bryan Danielson, who's got a few words for Jon Moxley. Tomorrow night in the second round of the Battle of Los Angeles, I have another clash with Jon Moxley. It's funny because every time I think we're done with each other and we move on, our paths somehow continue to align. But I've had his number before, and tomorrow will be no different. Is everything on the line? A tournament, a trophy, an opportunity, or all at stake? This is one where you're going to give it your all, because if you win, it's one of the biggest fulfillments you can get in life. So Mox, Kenny, Okada, Ospreay, G White, I'm ready. I'm ready for you all. So obviously they are technically still in a feud that I've not cancelled, so we get the benefit of that. But a 90 rated segment, good stuff, and one of the matches you've all seen in the quarterfinals is Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. So you already know you're getting that in one of the first matches tomorrow, or on tomorrow's show. You're also going to get Jay White and Kenny Omega in round 1. Crazy stuff. And our main event, I did expect it to deliver, and it's probably one of our best televised matches so far. And it was about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Takeshita defeats Kyle Fletcher in 21:58 with the touchdown. So 89 wrestling, 67 for the crowd, and 90 for the segment. Both guys bringing good performances and good chemistry, which has lifted the match up. So I'll probably say your overall result would have probably been maybe a 91 and 92. You obviously gain points for the pretty good chemistry, but obviously you'll lose it with that psychology penalty. But I'm kind of looking at it and going, I'm enjoying Aussie Open as a tag act, but I need to appreciate how good Kyle Fletcher's been, obviously in real life, but in this save as well has been absolutely fantastic. And you want to pull the trigger, but do you want to make it lost in the shuffle? That's the problem. But this will be one of our highest scoring dynamites, I think, collisions ever. 84. Fair enough, I can accept that, because if you actually look at it, although we are mostly main event spotlight, you take away the 90 rated main event, you don't really have too much falling up from that. You know, the Orange Cassidy and Jack Perry at 77, and then you're talking a 70 after that. Angle wise, I'm happy with. You know, you get the 90, you get the 88 in there, so that's fine. But I suppose you're also going to lose points because of the lack of storylines involved in matches. And of course, we only do broadcast that in the US. I didn't want to just abuse the system and just put everything on the AEW network, or then it's just going to get too easy. So, in truth, we probably in a normal show would have gained in about 50 odd regions, but it's just free. But that's fine. I like doing that because it makes Collision more of a challenge than Dynamite, I suppose. Because like Dynamite, I can make like 22 million just purely off one show. Locker room incidents. Tuoliona has started acting differently alongside Orange Cassidy. I can't imagine that. And that's the incident. So I'll catch you back on the main screen. I'm going to quickly book Shockwave. We'll cover that. We'll cover Rampage. And then we'll go through the final 8 in both the men's and the women's Battle of Los Angeles. So we'll see the after effects of that taping. We have Andy Shepherd's contract in the WWE expiring shortly. Tamel's pregnant again, so she'll be having her second child with Sammy Guevara, I believe. Let's just double check they're still together. Yep. So they'll be having their second child, so we give her a small push. When she can, that's a lie. We give her a couple of wins, that's probably more appropriate. But yeah, as I say, obviously we're not going to invest in her, because she'll really not be usable for another year, so we'll probably just put her to Ring of Honor and she can sit out and enjoy her pregnancy for 12 months. Obviously, maternity leave is probably the better word for that. The Butcher back from injury. Toru Yano's gone from his short spell at Ring of Honor. Yo is 37. We're not going to look at him. That's fine. Collision got 1.3 million viewers overall. Shockwave got 2 million. Just shows the difference of being on the network. And a few injuries as well. So, we'll cover first and foremost the two B shows. We'll go with Rampage first. So, Thunder Rosa defeated Thekla in a 41, with then some words from Thunder Rosa. Alex Reynolds and John Silver defeated Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Cool Hanange taking the loss there in the 47 rated match. Some words from Saraya was a 43. She's like Jericho, she's still consistently in that poor run of form. And obviously the injury she has installed in a mod, obviously, that she had prior in real life, have just wrecked out her ability in this save, but that's fine. Misa Ruga defeated the Bunny, it was a 45 with some words from Wheeler Yuta, which was a 58, and because we had Cedric on the one-day deal, we just done him in the main event here as well. Yuta picking up a win in a 66 rated matchup. So again, utilising these shows to try and build people with some momentum, and other people just develop their skill sets. Over at Shockwave, obviously that's a B show, but 90 minutes. The Natural Dustin Rhodes defeated Santam Singh by countout, it was a 28. You need to work with Santam somehow, and at the same time Dustin needed some momentum. His promo afterwards was a 45. Gargano defeated Juice Robinson in a 71, which is pretty solid, and then a Gargano promo itself was a 62. Serena Deeb needed some momentum, so she picked it up with a win over Mercedes Martinez in a 61. Woodsome The Righteous was a 55. Queen Aminata defeated Camille, which was a 60 rated matchup. We had some disagreement backstage between former stablemates Chris Jericho and Brian Keith, which was a 59. They'll clash in the main event. With AJ Styles and Nick Wayne team up to defeat the Workhorsemen in a 73 rated matchup. It was AJ Styles going over JD Drake. And your main event saw Chris Jericho defeat Brian Keith in a 56. So nothing spectacular. 57 for Shockwave. Rampage was a 62. Their B shows, as what it is. But most importantly, predictions time. We're going to have a look at these brackets for the last day. I don't think there's anything there that we didn't really cover, because everything that's in the bigger promotions I just shortlist so I get everything through my inbox to read it. So if we jump down here to tournaments, if I can find it, here we go. So what to expect from the 2025 Battle of Los Angeles? Well, the men's quarterfinals, we'll see Kazuchika Okada face Walter. You get John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. The winners of those matches will face off in the semi-finals, and we'll have Will Ospreay taking on Hangman Adam Page to continue that feud, and Jay White battles Kenny Omega. So that is such a... oh, I just cannot wait to see how that goes down. On the women's side, Mercedes Moné battles Toni Storm. Should she win, she could face stablemate Bayley as she battles Io Shirai. We've got Jamie Hayter against Willow Nightingale, and then Athena versus Becky Quinn. So remember, the winners of these tournaments will get the championship matches at All Out. Let me know your predictions, but thank you very much for watching. It was a bit later with this episode, I do apologise for that. Just a few things have came up, and yeah, try to write out storylines and angles. Was just coming home from work and being too tired to do so. And I'm putting a lot of the offline save as well with DPW, because I need to, as I say, the idea of TW is again to do the achievements. I've got a few with TPW so far. We've got the tiny to small and small to medium. I think I'm just off medium at the moment, but had a lot of fun. Don't have any connection to TPW, just basically been signing everybody that's been released from WWE and AEW on handshake deals, and looked like I was going to put the company out of business, but we're making good money now. Still a way away for a TV deal, but yeah, just a nice wee fun offline save. So hopefully you join us in a few days' time. We'll have the tournament of the Battle of Los Angeles. Hopefully we get some good results there, and then on the road to Forbidden Door, and then All Out. As always, check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, the Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. Until next time, hopefully join us for the Battle of Los Angeles. Bye bye.